My fiancé said if you loved me, you'd rip that prenup up, but when her bridesmaid exposed her calling me her retirement plan, everything collapsed. My name is Darius Holt. I'm 31 and I run a real estate and IT consulting business. It's not flashy tech billionaire money, but it's more than comfortable. I bought my first duplex at 24, kept reinvesting, and by 30 I had a handful of properties plus a decent-sized client list in the IT space. I've too always been the type who keeps spreadsheets for fun, tracks expenses to the cent, and prefers assets over toys. People around me describe me as disciplined, maybe a little too serious. I never really cared about flexing. I don't post vacations on Instagram, I don't wear flashy watches, and I drive a normal SUV because it's practical. My idea of a splurge was putting a home theater in my condo, which I use more than any car. That's the kind of guy I am. Then there's Selena Vera, 28. She was different from me in pretty much every way. She worked as a fitness coach and did personal training on the side. She also had an Instagram account she was trying to grow into something bigger. At the time we got serious, she had maybe 15,000 followers, which later grew to around 40,000. Her feed was a mix of gym selfies, motivational quotes, and those trendy day in my life reels. Selena loved being the center of attention, bold laugh, perfect poses, expensive tastes, and constant talk about manifesting abundance. We met at a gym opening. She liked that I wasn't staring, just checking emails. At first, dating her was fun and flattering. She was the complete opposite of my usual type. But a year in, her energy turned into pressure, constant photos, demanding likes and comments on posts, annoyed if I didn't hype her online fast enough. I brushed it off, but the cracks were there. Fast forward almost 3 years. I proposed. Nothing over the top. Rooftop dinner at my condo. Sunset view of the skyline. Ring I'd picked out months before. She cried, said yes, and posted a video within an hour. By the next morning, her followers already knew every detail. For me, it was personal. For her, it was content. That's when the wedding talks started, and Selena didn't hold back. Her dream was a destination wedding on the Amalfi Coast, Italy, not a modest one either. She wanted a historic villa, live orchestra, designer gown, fireworks at the reception, the works. The first rough estimate came back at over $100,000. She pitched it like, "Babe, it'll be unforgettable and everyone will see what a power couple we are." I told her I'd saved for a wedding but always pictured something closer to $30,000 to $40,000 tops. She waved her hand like that was pocket change. "Darius, you can afford it. This is once in a lifetime." I agreed to keep discussing it, but inside I already felt a knot forming. Spending that much on one day didn't make sense to me, yet Selena was locked in on her vision. Then the small red flags started stacking up. A week after the proposal, she sat me down and said she was thinking about quitting her coaching job. "Once we're married, I want to focus on being a wife and building my brand. A man should want his woman to shine." I asked what building her brand meant. She said sponsorships, lifestyle content, maybe fitness retreats funded up front until they took off. In plain terms, she wanted me to bankroll it. Next came the car. She casually dropped that she needed something flashier to match her new role as my fiancé, and sent me links to a white BMW X6 and a Porsche Macan, all with the line, "It'd be nice if this was in my name." I asked why it had to be in her name. Her answer was, "Because it looks bad if I don't own anything." Another time she whispered at dinner about my best friend Jalen, who's been in my life since college and runs a construction business. "Don't you think he's kind of rough? For your best man, shouldn't you pick someone more polished?" That pissed me off. Jalen is as real as they come. Individually, those things might not seem like deal breakers, but together they started forming a picture. The car, quitting her job, criticism of people close to me, and a wedding turning into a performance more than a celebration. Still, I brushed it aside. I told myself she just needed time, that she was excited, that once the wedding hype settled, she'd calm down. I convinced myself love meant compromise, even when it made me uneasy. Looking back now, that was the first mistake. After the initial engagement excitement, I decided it was time to bring up something I had prepared months earlier. I had already spoken to my lawyer before I even bought the ring. He drafted a clean, straightforward prenup. Nothing tricky, just standard protections for my business, properties, and savings. If we ever split, what I built before Selena wouldn't get touched. One night we were at my place. She was scrolling through Pinterest wedding boards and showing me a $5,000 chandelier she wanted shipped from France. I waited until she finished her pitch, then slid the folder across the table. "Selena, this is something I need us to go through," I said. She picked it up, saw the first page, and froze. "What is this?" "It's a prenup. Just standard stuff. Protects my business and the properties. If anything ever happened, you'd walk away with whatever we built during the marriage, but what I already had stays mine." The temperature in the room dropped instantly. She set the papers down like they were contaminated. "You're joking." "I'm serious. It's nothing unusual. Most people who own businesses do this." Her face went red. "So you don't trust me? That's what this means. You think I'm here for your money?" That's not what I said. This isn't about trust. It's about protection. It's smart. Smart? Darius, I've been with you for 3 years. I moved my life around for you. I planned our future with you, and you're telling me you don't think I'm good enough to share everything? I kept my tone steady. It's not about good enough. It's about being responsible. This protects both of us. She stood up. No, this protects you. It insults me. A man who loved me wouldn't ask me to sign this. That phrase, a real man, stuck. I didn't respond right away because I wanted to avoid making it worse, but I knew this wasn't going to be a one-night argument. The next day it blew up bigger. I got a call from her mom, Isolde. The moment I answered, her voice was sharp. Darius, how dare you? My daughter called me crying last night. A prenup? Do you have any idea how insulting that is? Isolde, with respect, it's standard. I'm protecting my business. It doesn't mean I love her less. She is giving you the best years of her life, and you repay her by handing her a contract like she's some random. She deserves unconditional commitment. She's 28, not 80. I'm giving her my best years too. This isn't about conditions, it's about being smart. Click. She hung up. A few hours later, Selena texted, dinner at my parents' tomorrow. We need to talk as a family. I showed up knowing what I was walking into. Their dining table was set like they were preparing for a negotiation. Selena sat next to her dad, Roland, who gave me a look like I'd insulted the family name. We ate in silence for a few minutes, then Roland put his fork down. Darius, I raised my daughter to expect a man who provides without hesitation. In our family, men take care of women. No contracts, no conditions. I nodded slowly. I understand your perspective, but I don't agree. I built my business with my own 2 hands. I can't just hand it over to chance. A prenup doesn't mean I won't provide. It means if things ever go bad, we don't destroy each other. Roland shook his head. You're talking like a businessman, not a husband. Marriage is about trust. If you can't trust my daughter, you shouldn't marry her. Selena chimed in. Exactly. You're already planning for a divorce before we even start. I looked at her directly. No, I'm planning for security. That's different. If you trusted me, you'd understand that. The rest of dinner was icy. I thanked them for hosting, excused myself, and went home. I figured Selena might calm down after some time. Instead, the next night she tried a different approach. We were arguing again about the prenup when she suddenly pulled out her phone, hit record, and started filming me mid-sentence. You hear that? She said into the camera. My fiancé thinks I'm after his money. He's already planning for divorce. I froze for a second, realizing what she was doing. Turn that off. She smirked. Maybe I should post this. Let your friends and clients see how controlling you really are. I kept my voice calm. If you post that out of context, I'll have my lawyer handle it. Delete it now. She rolled her eyes but stopped recording. Unbelievable. You're more worried about your reputation than my feelings. No, I'm worried about lies being spread. There's a difference. She threw the phone on the couch. You know what, Darius? If you loved me, you'd rip that paper up right now. Otherwise, there's no wedding. I looked at her. No prenup, no wedding. That's final. Her jaw dropped. She was expecting me to fold. When I didn't, she stormed out muttering about me being cheap and cold. For the first time since the engagement, I felt like I'd drawn a clear line. After that night, I thought Selena might step back and think things through. Instead, she acted like nothing had happened. The very next morning, she posted a picture of us holding hands with the caption, "Can't wait to marry my provider Maui wedding." That word again, provider. She wasn't saying partner or future husband, just provider. I scrolled through the comments. Her friends wrote things like, "Girl, you won the jackpot and living the dream." Not one person mentioned love or commitment. Selena leaned into wedding planning harder than ever. She started dropping her non-negotiables on me like she was the CEO and I was the accountant funding her projects. First was the dress. She sent a screenshot of a designer gown from a Paris boutique with a $20,000 price tag. This is the one. When I asked if she'd shop around, she replied, "Why should I settle? This is the most important day of my life." Then came the bridesmaid situation. She told her 5 closest friends they'd each need to pay around $3,000 for matching gowns and an overseas bachelorette trip. One balked at the cost, and Selena told her, "If you can't invest in my big day, maybe you shouldn't stand beside me." The girl dropped out. Selena's response was, "Whatever, I'll find someone else." The cherry on top was her obsession with a wedding content team, some trendy media group that specialized in viral TikTok and Instagram clips during weddings, for $12,000. When I asked why we needed that, she laughed. "Because, babe, this isn't just a wedding, it's an event. Do you know how many followers I'll gain?" I realized then, she wasn't planning a marriage, she was planning a show, and I was supposed to bankroll the whole thing. So while she sketched flower arrangements, I started making quiet moves of my own. First, I shut down the joint credit card I'd opened for wedding deposits. She had already maxed it out on bridal skincare treatments and a bride-to-be fitness retreat. I paid it off, canceled the card, and set up alerts on all my accounts. Next, I met with my lawyer. We updated my will, restructured property holdings, and moved savings into a protected business account. I didn't say a word to Selena about any of this. She thought she was winning while I built a firewall around everything I had. Then came the day I pulled the plug. It was a Wednesday morning, Selena was at yoga, and I sat at my desk with a notebook and my phone. I made a list of every vendor, venue, caterer, planner, florist, travel agency, band, decorator. One by one I started calling. The venue had my $30,000 deposit. I explained the wedding was canceled. Since we were 8 months out, they refunded 60%, $18,000 back. The caterer gave 50% back, another $8,000. The planner kept her $5,000 retainer but refunded the rest. By the time I finished, I had clawed back just over $50,000. Not everyone played nice, but most vendors refunded because we were far out. A couple even respected me for it. The photographer said, "Honestly, man, you're dodging a bullet. We see guys lose their shirts all the time." The band manager said something similar. "Better to cut your losses early than keep sinking cash." When I hung up the last call, I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. That afternoon, instead of worrying about flower arrangements, I drove to the Tesla dealership. I'd been eyeing the new Roadster for months but kept telling myself it wasn't practical. After clawing back 50 grand from a wedding circus, it felt like a reward. I placed a Roadster reservation and picked up a Model S for day-to-day. Back home, I called my contractor buddy Jalen, the same guy Selena thought was too rough, and had him plan a full office upgrade in my condo. When Selena came back from yoga that night, she didn't notice anything different. She launched into a rant about a bridesmaid not cooperating and how she'd replace her with someone who knew how important this was. I nodded, let her vent, and didn't mention a word about the cancellations. She thought she was running the show. She had no idea the stage was already gone. It all unraveled on a Saturday afternoon. I was in my office when I heard Selena laughing in the living room with her maid of honor, Maribel. They were going through her wedding binder. Then Maribel suggested, "Let's just call the venue and lock in the menu." Selena put the call on speaker. "Hi, this is Selena Vera. I need to finalize the menu for the Vera Holt wedding." There was a pause, then the woman said, "I'm sorry, ma'am. That event was canceled last month. The refund has already been processed. Mr. Holt called personally to cancel." The room went silent. Selena's voice cracked. "What? We can offer you dates next year, but that weekend is gone." Click. The shriek that followed could have shattered glass. She came storming into my office, face red, eyes wide. "What the hell did you do?" "I canceled the wedding. You can't just cancel my wedding." "Our wedding?" I corrected. "And I did because you refused the prenup. I took you at your word." Her hands flew up. "That wasn't literal." I was upset. "You're twisting my words." I shook my head. "You made it clear you'd never sign. I took you seriously." "You're insane. You humiliated me. People already got save the dates. What am I supposed to tell them? Tell them the truth, we're not getting married." She screamed, "This is manipulation. You're holding me hostage with paperwork." "No," I replied. "This is protection. A man doesn't gamble his empire for napkin colors." Before she could respond, the doorbell rang. Roland and Isolde texted on her way over. They walked in like they owned the place. Roland's face was red with anger. "You humiliated my daughter. She humiliated herself by refusing to be reasonable." Isolde pointed at me. "You owe her this wedding. After parading her around, you owe her." "I don't owe anyone a six-figure circus," I said. "I offered marriage with protection. She refused. That's where it ends." Roland slammed his hand on my desk. "In our family, a man provides. That's tradition." "Then maybe she should marry into your family again because I'm not your son. I built my business with my own hands. I won't hand it over to chance because your daughter wants fireworks at a villa." Selena was pacing, hair flying, hands clenched. "You're controlling, you're cheap, you're trying to punish me because I won't play by your rules." "My rules are simple," I said. "You made your choice." Roland barked, "You're throwing away the best thing that ever happened to you. My daughter is beautiful, loyal. She could have any man she wanted." "Then she should go find one," I said. That stunned them. For a moment, no one spoke. Finally, Selena shouted, "Fine. If you won't fix this, I'm leaving. You can rot in this office with your spreadsheets." "Do what you need to," I said. "The choice has been yours from the start." She stormed out, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the frame. Roland and Isolde followed, throwing me looks like I'd betrayed the entire family. Her car peeled out of the driveway. The house was quiet again. The wedding was gone. The circus was over. That night I noticed Selena's closet was half empty. She'd packed fast. I didn't stop her, didn't text, didn't call. She wanted no prenup. She got no wedding. When Selena left, she didn't go quietly. Within 48 hours, she turned the situation into a show, fueled by her parents. I got 3 voicemails from Roland in one day, the last ending with, "If you think you're walking away from my daughter after humiliating her like this, you've got another thing coming." I didn't respond. Then came the social media storm. Selena posted a TikTok the next week that made my jaw clench, sitting in her childhood bedroom, no makeup, hoodie on, crying into the camera with soft piano music. Through tears, she said, "I gave 3 years of my life to a man who told me I was his future. I put everything into planning our dream wedding, and one day, out of nowhere, he canceled everything. Why? Because I wouldn't sign a piece of paper that said I wasn't good enough to be trusted. He made me feel like a gold digger, like I was disposable." The video cut to clips of the Amalfi Villa, dresses, Pinterest boards. She finished with, "Girls, if a man really loves you, he won't need to protect himself from you. Real love doesn't need contracts." It exploded. 500,000 views in 2 days. Comments poured in. "Girl, you dodged a bullet. Financial abuse 101. He wanted to control you." I started getting texts from old friends and even clients. "Hey man, saw something online. Everything okay?" For the first time, I felt like the villain in someone else's story. It stung. Then the DMs came, random people calling me a coward, a control freak. Selena's followers were rallying behind her. Just when I thought it couldn't get worse, she dropped another TikTok, sitting in front of a table covered in save the date cards, lighting a candle, holding one up and whispering, "This was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Instead, it's ashes because of him," then burning it. The comments went wild. People made duets calling me heartless. For about a week, it looked like she had painted me as the bad guy. But then screenshots started circulating. Not from me, but from inside her own circle. One of her bridesmaids, the one who dropped out over the $3,000 demand, had saved the group chat receipts and leaked them. Messages showed Selena typing, "Honestly, I don't care what Darius wants. He's my retirement plan. Once the ring's on, it's all mine." Another, "He's so uptight about money, I just smile and let him rant. Once we're married, what's his is mine anyway." There were more. Bragging about landing a man who'd pay for everything, calling Jalen trailer trash, mocking my car for not being flashy enough for her posts. The internet turned instantly. The same comment sections flipped from "Stay strong queen" to "Imagine calling your fiancé a retirement plan, so he was right to want a prenup. This ain't love, this is strategy." I didn't have to say a word, but I did post one thing, a picture of the prenup draft S front page with the caption, "Standard protection for my business and properties." Nothing crazy. This was what I asked for. Decide for yourself if that's controlling. Then I posted screenshots of her Instagram captions calling me her provider. No commentary, just the receipts. My notifications blew up, this time in my favor. Respect for protecting yourself, she played herself. Should have just signed. Selena's next videos were flooded with people calling her out. Some of her own followers told her she was embarrassing herself. She tried claiming the screenshots were fake, edited by haters, but the bridesmaid doubled down with a screen recording of the real chat. There was no denying it. Selena deleted the crying TikTok, the candle one, and eventually made her whole account private. Watching it unfold was surreal. A week earlier I had been questioning myself, wondering if I overreacted or had been too rigid. Now I felt no doubt. The world had seen who she really was. The wedding was canceled and her online image was in ruins, but Selena still wasn't done trying to squeeze something out of me. Next battle, the ring. It was a custom piece, platinum band, 2.5-carat diamond, designed for her taste, north of $25,000. After everything, I wasn't letting her keep it as a trophy. She refused to give it back. "It's mine. An engagement ring is a gift. You don't take back gifts just because you got cold feet." I reminded her she was the one who said no prenup, no wedding, the engagement is off, the ring comes back. Her dad jumped in, "She's keeping it. You humiliated her, destroyed her dream. The least you can do is let her keep the ring. Consider it damages." "Damages?" I repeated. "This isn't court, Roland. The ring isn't a souvenir." Roland puffed up. "In our family, that's how it works. A man proposes, the woman keeps the ring no matter what." I looked him dead in the eye. "I don't give a damn about what your family thinks. Your rules don't apply to me. I paid for that ring and it's coming back. Period." Roland stepped closer like he was 20 again. "You think you can disrespect me? I'll make sure people know what kind of man you are. We have friends, connections." I cut him off. "You sell insurance, Roland. Sit down. You don't scare me, and your connections mean nothing here." His mouth opened, then closed. He looked small. I didn't argue further. Instead, I called my jeweler and insurance company. My attorney sent a formal demand, and the insurer flagged the ring with local jewelers and pawn shops. A week later, the ring arrived in a padded envelope at my office. No note, just mailed back like trash. 2 nights later, the concierge called. Selena and her parents were downstairs because I hadn't updated the guest list. They showed up at my door. Selena started, "Fine, I'll sign your stupid prenup. But there are conditions." I cut her off. "There's nothing to negotiate." Her eyes widened. "You didn't even hear them." "I don't need to. The answer's no. My boundaries aren't up for bargain. You showed me who you are." She stepped closer, shaking with anger. "So after 3 years, after everything, you're just walking away?" You walked away the moment you treated me like a bank instead of a partner. Roland barked, "Don't talk to my daughter like that." I turned to him, "Then don't show up at my door trying to tell me how to live. You wanted to raise a princess. That's fine, but I'm not paying tribute to your kingdom." Isolde tried softly, "Darius, be reasonable. She's willing to meet you halfway." I shook my head. Compromise is splitting dessert, not giving away my house and income to someone who wouldn't respect me enough to sign a basic agreement. Selena snapped, "You're pathetic. You hide behind contracts because you're scared. A real man wouldn't need this. He'd take care of me without question." I didn't move. "Then go find one." She blinked, thrown off. "I will," she shot back, jabbing a finger at me. "I'll find a real man who isn't scared of commitment, who isn't scared of love." I looked her dead in the eye. "You'll find one, but you'll never find one like me." For a second, the room went silent. Even Roland had no comeback. Selena's face twisted in fury and disbelief. She turned on her heel and stormed down the hall, her parents scrambling after her. The door slammed so hard my picture frames rattled. I stood there in the quiet, knowing that was the last time she'd ever stand in my home. I felt lighter than I had in months. After everything, Selena tried rebranding as a financial coach for women, preaching independence while her old provider captions kept resurfacing. Every reel got hit with "Did your retirement plan cancel?" Her Zoom sessions flopped, the booking page disappeared. Then she latched onto a so-called crypto investor, leased BMW, 2 roommates, rented watches. Photos of them together got roasted instantly, from penthouses to fake flex bros. Quite the downgrade. While her life stalled, mine accelerated. With the wedding circus canceled and refunds back, I leveled up, bought a condo in Barcelona, spent weeks traveling Spain and Italy, posted just enough to show peace beats chaos. Back home, business boomed. New properties, a major contract, upgraded office, Model S downstairs. Every morning felt like proof that standing firm paid off. That's around when I met Aurelia. She was a lawyer, sharp as they come, and didn't play games. Our first conversations were nothing like the old days with Selena. No bragging, no fishing for gifts. On our third date, she brought up prenups herself. "If this ever becomes serious, I'd want one in place. I've worked hard for what I have and expect you to respect that." I nearly laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was refreshing. We started dating steadily, and it just clicked. She was independent, confident, and didn't need me to bankroll her life. Being with her felt like a partnership, not a performance. Then came the run-in with Selena at a rooftop restaurant downtown. Aurelia and I were having dinner when we spotted each other. Selena smirked, walked over and made a scene. Well, upgraded already, huh? What's the deal this time? Did you make her sign your famous contract before appetizers?" People turned their heads. Aurelia didn't flinch. She set her wine glass down and smiled politely. "Actually, I brought up the prenup first. It's called being a responsible adult. Maybe if you understood contracts, you wouldn't be where you are now." Selena's face went stiff. I leaned back. "Selena, this is Aurelia. She's a lawyer. She knows exactly why protection matters." Aurelia added, "And just for the record, mocking people in public only makes you look worse, but you already know that, don't you?" Selena stammered something about me being controlling, but Aurelia cut her off. "No, he's smart. There's a difference. You confuse those two, and it cost you." The silence that followed was brutal. People nearby were enjoying the free drama. Selena's cheeks went red. Her crypto boyfriend muttered, "Let's just go." They stormed off without finishing their drinks. Aurelia picked up her glass and smirked. That was entertaining. I couldn't help but laugh. For the first time, I didn't feel anger towards Selena, just pity. From that night on, I didn't hear much about her. She kept posting here and there, trying to act unbothered, but the sparkle was gone. Her following shrank, sponsorships dried up, and eventually her account went private. As for me, life only got better. Business kept growing, Aurelia and I got closer, and I finally felt like I was building with someone who valued the same things I did. One morning, I stood in my penthouse, sipping coffee while the city stretched out in front of me. The place was quiet, sunlight pouring through the windows, no chaos, no drama, just me, my work, and the woman on the balcony scrolling through legal briefs like it was nothing. I thought back to the moment Selena said, "I'll never sign." She thought it was a victory. In reality, it was the best warning I ever got. I didn't just dodge a bullet, I dodged a missile. And I've never been more at peace.